Okay, so this is a tour of the campsite that we're staying at, our little woodland pitch, and also a test for the microphone. So, as we pan the camera around, this is the view from outside of the campsite area. Okay, so you can see we're overlooking the Solent. A bit misty today, quite high tides at the moment, but loads of boats all across the Solent out for a sail. So it's quite a secluded spot in an area of fairly active landsliding. So we don't feel too much remorse about taking resources in this area, because in a few years' time it's all going to disappear. So as you approach our camping area, we've been here most of yesterday, so we've had a good play around, added lots of features. So coming up here, this is the cooking area. So we're cooking on an open fire, exclusively on an open fire, and there's some lovely dead oak wood, which is fantastic, burns really nicely. And we've made out of some ash and hazel a nice cooking stand. So we've got the stand up here, and then just a couple of simple hot hangers, just so we can lower the height. So we cooked chili yesterday, which worked really well over the open fire, and other bits and pieces, and that's really nice. We're sort of north facing here, so at the moment the tarp has been set up. So I've got this nice tarp set up, and its main function at the moment is just to create a nice little area, a living space, sort of an admin area. And then we've also got the bench. So we constructed the bench last time we camped in this area, and we used 4 upright V-shaped pieces of wood which have been driven into the ground, you can see there, with a cross piece. And then this is an old bit of scaffold plank that washed up on the beach. So you could construct something similar using long pieces of wood across, but because we're down on the beach, we don't need to. Stuff gets washed up and it's fair game. This is the main cooking pot. This is my smaller of 2 Tatonka cooking pots. It's fantastic. It's really good, cooks really well, and we've cooked chili in that. We've done hot water. Just get that lid off, come on. There we are, get that out of the way. You can see a little bit burnt in the bottom, but it's not really burnt, it's just where some oil sheared off a bit. But these work really well, and we cooked some lovely scram this morning. I'll come back to the tarp in a minute. So we've got 2 sleeping areas. So this is Stuart's sleeping area. So he's brought a Alpkit bivvy bag, and then I sewed a piece of material. My piece of material didn't sew up in properly because the machine was being naughty. So basically what he's got is like almost like a stretcher. So it's formed this quite comfortable camp bed, which is just 2 long poles, and then on the long poles you've got some notches cut in, and then on those notches they just splay the stretcher or camp bed out. It's actually a very simple idea, and I think I'll get mine sewn up. If my machine doesn't do it properly, I'll employ the services of somebody I know who does sail mending and making. So this was Stuart's tarp. Not sure where he got it from. It's some sort of British Army basher, PU nylon. Yeah, it's good. Wasn't any trees around, so he's just hung everything up on just some A-frames and bits. Like I say, there's loads of wood down here, and if it isn't sort of cut and coppiced, most of it will probably just rot away anyway. So that's quite good. Don't really need it. The weather's been really good, so yeah, get away without it. And as I come over here, I might as well come over this way now. This over here is the back of the DD hammock camo. It's their own camouflage. It's actually a really nice pattern and blends in really nicely. So this is a 3 by 3 metre tarp. 40 odd quid, bargain. Loads of loops, good quality stitching, really. I'm really impressed with it, you know. So if you wanted to get a good, reasonably priced setup made without spending a lot of money, then yeah, go for it. Good stuff. So it's just up as an admin area, because the sun's behind the camp, because we're on the north side of this patch of woodland. It's going to provide a bit of shade. It's not massively warm today, but it is warming up. The sun's burning through. So we come over to here. This is my accommodation. So I'm using a Hennessy hammock, and this is the zipped version rather than the netted version. And this is the large hammock. I'm only 5'6" or so, but I like the larger hammock because it's a bit more comfortable, it's a bit more robust, you can lay down more comfortably. So up a ridge line for the tarp, I don't fix it to the same ridge line. So on here I've got a tree strap, and then as you come down here, got the suspension system, and then there's various bits of stuff hanging off of here. So the bag the hammock comes in makes a handy little bag to hang bits and pieces off the ground. I've made this sort of ridgeline organiser. The Prussics aren't working that well at the minute. I need to use thinner cord, but it's okay. And you can just hang various bits and pieces up in here. The sort of organiser bag or bum bag here is a bandicoot, and I'll have a look at that in a bit more detail. And then inside the hammock, nothing amazing inside there. As we zip it open, just a sleeping bag, lightweight sleeping bag. It comes inside with its own organiser. So yeah, just a few bits and pieces you need at night: a hat, headphones, hang my torch up. The under blanket is very similar to a snug pack under blanket, and it was part of a group buy from bushcraftuk.com forum and website. Somebody did a group buy many years ago jointly with Song of the Paddle forum website. Yeah, it's been really good. So nothing fancy really, it's just suspended off of the hammock there. I've added a little clip here just to keep it in place. That's worked quite well. Because the hammock is asymmetrical, it does require a little bit of fiddling around, and then I've just come up to the ridge line with a piece of elastic on this side, and there's a bit loose here. You could do that as well. The main thing is to keep it onto the body. The tarp, come around the back here, gives fairly good coverage. Not as much coverage as a longer tarp, but it fits over the hammock, and in windy weather you can pull it down quite snugly around the hammock. It's adequate. So the woodland here is oak woodland with hazel, nice bits of hazel, some nice resources. And this was all up on the upper cliff, so this has slipped down 10, 20 metres, and this is now the new level on the edge of the cliff. So it's all going to disappear soon. Each winter a little bit more disappears, get a wet winter and it all goes. So yeah, that's our setup. Trying to do a little bit of fishing, a little bit of spinning, and then as I come back down out of the camp, back down towards the cliff. As I come down towards the cliff, you can see tide has come up even a little bit more since we were last over this way. And then the access point for our cliff path bit is this bit of rope just to help getting up and down. And then as you come down here, head down over the slip, and you can see where it slipped here. Loads of slippage here, and then up it goes, and then there we are, overlooking towards Yarmouth. 2 white link ferries. I don't know if you're pick it up with this camera really. There's Lymington, and then there's the Solent, full of boats. There they all are in all their glory. So there we are, little tour. There we are, good stuff.